Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
El tiempo para la verdad es patrocinado por la Clínica Dental Bernard Fialkoff DDS, con especialidades en implantes dentales, láser periodontal, cirugía cosmética. Visítanos en el 5603 de la 214 Street, Bayside, New York, con el teléfono 718-229-3838. Clínica Dental Bernard Fialkoff.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Welcome back to A Time for Truth show. I'm your host, Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, and it's a pleasure to have you back again on this Halloween night. Such a special, it's really like a really joyous day. It's a very happy day, and I remember when I was a kid going out for candy and and going out with my friends, and I grew up in Connecticut. And so tonight's show is a very special show, and we have a really great guest that's with us tonight to represent the profession of dentistry, a person who's done so much for the profession and also exemplifies really what it means to be a doctor, and not just a doctor in the office, but a doctor in the community. And she's here next to me. Her name is Dr. Hanette Gomez. And Hanette received her degree in 1991 from the NYU School of Dentistry. And previous to that, in Santo Domingo at the University Autónoma de Odontología in 1984. She is a mother, a doctor, a wife, humanitarian, philanthropist. She's a mother of 4. All of them are doing really well in life. And so I'm really anxious to have her, in Spanish we say, compartir con ustedes, to share with you what she's done. There you see her husband, Ramiro, Cuban born like I am. And so I'm very prejudiced, so he's my favorite guy. And she runs a practice which is called Clínica Dental Latina in Queens, New York. She's a member of the Academy of General Dentistry, the International College of Oral Implantology, the American Dental Association, the New York State Dental Association, the Queens County Dental Society, where she's actually the president of the Queens County Dental Society. She was also part of the New York Society of Forensic Dentistry. She is also, unbelievably, and I don't know how she finds the time, the president of the Dominican Medical Dental Society, and has run many different conferences. Recently one with her co-partner in medicine, Dr. Talaj, who basically runs Somos, and Dr. Gomez ran the dental portion of the group in the Spain symposium that was at the Hotel Riu in Spain. Very, very beautiful conference. She was the past president of the Hispanic Dental Association, and she has many, many awards, but to keep it brief and be able to get to her show, she has a fellowship in a very important organization of integrity, International College of Dentistry, and the City of New York Award for her work after 9/11 and after the American Airlines Flight 587. She really exemplifies the meaning of care, and she has advanced education in so many fields, in aesthetic dentistry, from the NYU College of Dentistry, in implantology, both surgical and prosthetic, again from NYU College of Dentistry, in full mouth, what's called reconstruction, which is giving someone back their mouth, their smile, their confidence. Again, New York University College of Dentistry, and also in clinical orthodontics, part 1 and 2, and really amazing. And to top it off, obviously forensic dentistry, which you utilize, unfortunately, in those occasions that we had in our city of New York and in our country. She's ambassador, and I'm very partial to this because she's ambassador of the Foundation for a Drug-Free World, and is really helping kids to stay off of drugs, which has become a very important topic. And she's also a board member of the Mustard Seed Foundation Support House for abandoned and disabled children in the world. Each year, she goes to the Dominican Republic and does dental relief efforts into her country. And she also once a year does a food drive and raises and obtains food for groups that are underserved or impoverished or in need. And, you know, Buddha, if we bring up live, please, on the screen, I want to bid a warm welcome to Dr. Hanette Gomez.
Thank you, Ben, for having me tonight. It's my pleasure to be here with you.
Well, you know what? It's a pleasure to have you, and for the viewers to get to know you, because really I've known you for so many years, and you do so much for people, and you're a person who, you know, speaks, you know, not in her words, but in your actions. And so what I wanted to ask you, because I know the viewers are going to get so much out of you speaking, is when you were a young girl, what were your dreams?
My dream it was just make my parents proud. I wanted to be able to give them something that they can feel proud of myself and proud themselves, because they never had a professional in their family, so they didn't have a medical or nothing that to that level. And my parents worked so hard to put us in a private school and things like that, and I wanted to make them proud of that the effort that they made, it was worth it.
It's beautiful. Well, you know what, I'm sure that you exceeded probably what they ever thought, and I see, and I know sometimes I feel almost like your extended brother.
I know.
And I see how much you accomplished, and it's amazing. That's why I'm so happy we're here on the show together. So what I wanted to ask you before we get into other subjects is, when did you know that you were going to become a dentist?
Well, I didn't know. My father usually told me, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a doctor. And he actually, when he built up his home, he built a place for me to have my office. But when there was time for me to decide, I wasn't sure what I wanted to be. And then I had a test done, and they recommend 3 different professions. And one of them was dentistry. So I kind of eliminated the other 2 because one, you had to be outside of the country to study that, and then the other one, I kind of didn't like it that much, so I decided to become a dentist. I thought it was a good profession to help people, and I always like to do good with persons and try to help whenever I can. So I thought that one it was a good choice.
Beautiful. Well,
I don't regret it.
No, I can see from what you've done that I'm very glad that you made the choice that you did. What was I going to ask you, because I'm a man, and so, you know, we have certain responsibilities, but there's other ones we don't really have. So I was going to ask you, as a woman and as a mother of 4 and a doctor, I mean, I had my kids, I'll tell you a very quick story. I had my 3 kids one day when they were young. and I had them for about 4 hours alone. And I took them to Chuck E. Cheese. And by the time I came home, I think I needed a vacation. And I really appreciated what the woman does, you know, with the family. So what my question is how did you find the time and how did you balance like what you did as a professional and then as a mother?
Well, I never thought about, I didn't give it any thought. I do it, you know, I do what I need to do. I don't take time to think about anything like, you know, this is hard or this is going to take me so long. I always encourage young people to do that. If I see a professional that comes from my country and they don't have a license or whatever, they say, you could do it. They always ask me, how did you do it? I say, I don't really know how I do it. I just knew that I need to do it, and I just did it. Because if you just stop to think about it, then you get stuck, and then you don't do nothing, because then you start getting scared, or you believe maybe that you not going to be able to do or accomplish what you think is maybe too hard. If you just do it, and then that's it. And I have a good help also, my husband.
Absolutely. I mean, he's amazing.
He support me, you know, and he's my backup.
Oh, he's an amazing guy. He really, you know.
Yeah,
really
he always my backup. He always with me.
Oh yeah, we have to mention Ramiro. You know, not only is he Cuban, so I'm very partial to him being a Cuban guy too, but he really is an amazing guy, and you know, I see that, you know, how he's always looking to make things go better in general, and with the groups that are participating in.
Mm-hmm. Whatever I do, he's always there. He always support what I do. If I want to run a marathon, he's there to help me. Take me to practice. I did that once. So anything that I want to accomplish, he's always there to support me.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because you actually said something now, and my wife Maria and I were talking about how much you've accomplished. And Maria says, "Do you know why she accomplishes that?" I said, "No, because she makes up her mind and she doesn't think twice about it."
Exactly.
And she said that, and now you just said that, and I go, it's amazing.
I don't think about it. I just know that I have to do it, and I do it. It's no time for me to think anything. I just do whatever I need to do.
Well, you know what? I really think that one of the things that, you know, is important to take home from the show is so many of you out there probably saying, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. But your example and what she's saying right now is take it to heart. Here you have someone who has accomplished so much in her life. And so basically like a commercial that I won't publicize, not to give anyone credit, but just do it, right? So we'll just do it, not think about it. And so with that mentality, I wanted to ask you something, because you've done so much in the dental field, and I've seen how many, you know, I look and I go, my God, now she's president of this. So when did you decide that you wanted to take these leading roles in the dental profession?
It wasn't that I decided to take the lead. It was just growing. I always want to be involved in the profession, and I always want to help. And little by little, I was just growing into the society, and the people, my peers, they believe in me. I think they saw that I have the power, I guess, or that I was able to do what they think needed to be done. And because I'm a person of that do things, I don't rely on anybody, so I was pushed to the position, I would say, you know, because they want me to take those positions. Sometimes I reject it. Sometimes people ask me, why don't you become a president? I say, no, I know, I don't want to get involved. I don't like politics. So for me, that was kind of politics, but eventually I saw the need that you need someone to like us, Hispanic, to be representing some of the dental community, like the Queens County Dental Society, which is more the American society. We need to have a voice there. So if nobody wants to take the chance, that space is empty. There's nobody that can actually not fight, but at least put our needs out there.
Right.
So they can pay attention to what our community needs, because sometimes they just forget about it, and they don't see our part, because we come from different background. We are Hispanic, come to the United States without the language. We had to surpass all the barriers that we face, and sometimes people don't realize how much we had to work for that, to be able to demonstrate that we have the knowledge, and we are at the same level that any other profession.
It's
Professional, I'm sorry.
That's very true. And you know what? So many people are watching you, and so this is a great opportunity. What would you say to your Latin community out there watching, and really all communities, anyone who's out there watching? You know, you've already told us a little bit, but what else do you want to add to that so that they just go for what they need to do?
You really need to prepare yourself to be able to compete with the professional in this country, because you can't come from your country and expect that you're going to be respected just because you're a doctor or whatever other profession you might have. So you had to prove that you have the knowledge and the preparation to compete with anybody else. But you had to prepare yourself. You had to study. You had to get your license in whatever profession you have, to be at the same level of any other professional in this country.
Very, very true. You know, and the other thing I wanted to get into and ask you is, because you are a mother, and you've been seeing what's going on in our communities,
Right.
and you know, a lot of what's happening with violence now. And so, what are your feelings in terms of what's going on in our country with drugs and what's happening with family structure?
We are very, very concerned, because we see what is going on. I have seen how my, let's say, the surrounding of my office has changed. You know, now we see people with drugs all over the place, and I'm really concerned about the youth. You know, the new generation that is growing into this situation like we're facing right now. I don't want to see our people, like the Hispanic community, the children dropping out from high school, not graduating, not pursuing anything in their life, because they're gonna get trapped in that. It's like hobby now, or whatever they want to call it, I don't know, but they just taking that like it's nothing. It's just having fun, and it's not going to cause to the children any issues. But in reality, we're going to see a lot of the young people, they're not going to finish school, they're going to drop out, they're not going to pursue any career, they're not going to do no good for the country. So that's really concerning, and we really need to work in this issue, coming from the source and going to prevention, like education in the school. I think school is a support system for the family. We cannot rely on the family alone, because now we have the problem is that the two parents have to work to support a family.
That's right.
And there's nobody home when the kids come home, come back from school.
That's right.
So what do? They get together with their friends, they go out of the street, and that's what they find. Drugs in the street that they can use, that they think is nothing, is just normal, is approved now, is okay. So, but we need to find a system, or we need to find a way to educate the parents, but also I think the school needs to do something also. The school needs to integrate or work together with the parents
Right.
to give education to the kids, not just in drug and a lot of other things that is happening, you know. Protecting the environment, keeping your country clean.
Right.
A lot of the issues that I see from in our community that nobody is paying attention. It's like everybody is blind and letting things go without hesitating to do anything about it.
You know, when I sit and I listen to you, and you know, and you what you're saying is so logical, and people say, yeah, well, that makes sense. But what you were saying is so true. Is like, it makes me think of something from the Bible, where, you know, I think it was Jesus said that they have eyes, but they do not see, and they have ears, but they do not hear.
Here, exactly.
Right, and what you're saying is so true. Is we really, my feeling is we need to wake up.
Yeah, I'm like I said before, I don't like politics, but unfortunately, we depend on them, and they really need to step up and do something about it. Because nobody else, I think, had the power to do and make a difference. And what I think they need to do is put some programs in school for prevention that can actually help the parents and the family to address this issue and to fight against this.
That's exactly, you know what, and I know many times you and I have spoken about why the Drug Free World program, and recently something good that came out that I didn't get a chance to tell you is that now one of the allied programs that we work with, which rehabilitates people, is SAMHSA. It's on the SAMHSA list, which is a government list, very important for schools, so schools can get funding. And so now there's an opportunity for schools to get funding, which is very good for local legislators and whatever, so that we can have that program and in 22 languages, educating kids about really what drugs are, which are basically poisons.
That's a good idea. And I heard some politicians talking about the problem, and some of them are really concerned.
Right.
They might be willing to, get together and try to change things around.
I know there's a lot of concerned politicians who are out there, and you know, I think it's important that we work together. It's funny because, you know, you and I are both working on something for November 30th at the Greater New York Dental Meeting, which we're actually going to have, you know, for the viewers to know, we have this group called the World Conference of Mayors, and their president, Johnny Ford, wants to come.
Right.
And the dentists from those cities we want to get in, because the Greater New York Dental Meeting is such the largest meeting in the world, I think.
Right. It is.
You know, so I'm looking forward to it, and you know, to give some credit to Dr. Gahani, because Dr. Gahani had me speak at the World's Fair of Dentistry at Terrace on the Park, and also to the AGD, the New York State AGD,
Right.
and they're helping now with this. And before I forget, Dr. Laura Medrano. I want to thank Dr. Laura Medrano, who's always working with the Greater New York Meeting, who's making it possible, and Dr. Titunik of the ICD, the International College of Dentistry, both of them, really, the whole ICD. And you wanted to say something too, tell me. You want to validate some people, I think.
No, what I'm saying, Dr. Gehani, he also put together a group at the World Fair.
Yes, absolutely.
And we discussed a lot of different issues about education and the problem with education. And Maria Adriano Espaillat, which is the congressman.
Yeah. Congress Espaillat, yeah.
Yes, he actually expressed some concern about the drugs. So we have some political leaders that really are concerned about what's happening, and I think that's a good thing, because if one starts, then probably that one will get the other involved.
They give them a little bit of hope. I think people have lost hope. It's important to give them hope back.
I guess sometimes they get they just let it go because they think they can fight against that. Once they see the problem is too big, they think they can fight against it, but like I said, just do it.
That's true. That's why I'm so happy to have you on the show, because your philosophy is getting it done.
Exactly.
Which is fantastic. One guy we have to mention that we should also acknowledge is Dr. Cesar Sabates, who was president of the ADA. He had a whole page in the ADA News in May about this program, the drug-free world and education, and you know, I want to thank Dr. Sabates and the ADA, and you know, and then there's a Globetrotter. I think you met him, Harlem Globetrotter Robert Hunter. And he's going to be there. And you know, the other night I was talking to in Dominican Republic you met Carlos, who runs the southern region of the Council on Drugs, and they have a lot of mayors, and we're looking and seeing how we can get this to happen.
I would like to see, this take, what do you say, like speed, and we can accomplish more in shorter time, because you've been working hard for so many years. I know that because I've been with you for so long on this issue, and now we're seeing that we're breaking through, it's really breaking through. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what my concern has always been is the families. Because my feeling is, if we don't protect our families, then what are we doing anything for? Exactly.
Hey, where is this country going to go without a good foundation, a good family foundation? We're destroying our own country.
It's so true. You know, when I lost my country, and my family had to come, my father, like you, he had to start over again. He was a physician, and he started over again. And like you, he had to get it done. And to me, I don't know. I guess you and I both have that kind of like example of just getting it done.
I feel sorry about a lot of the Hispanic people that comes to the country. They have a dream. They come because they have a dream in their mind, and sometimes what they face here is like a bucket of ice over their body, because they suffer the frustration of so many barriers, but you have to stay focused. And when I see drunk people on the street or homeless, I feel so sorry, because they give us so much to come to this country for better life, and then ended up getting trapped in drugs and any other things. So that's really very sad.
It's very true. You know, we're at the end of the show.
Okay.
And I'm so happy to have had you on the show. So I want to give you an opportunity. What would you like to say those people watching this show tonight? What do you want to have them take as a take-home message so we can change our world?
I would like them to think about when they need to elect a leader of the country, to see what the person care about it. Because without good leaders, we cannot accomplish anything. So that's what I want to say.
Well, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Ben. It was a pleasure being with you here.
I had a great time with you. I know a lot's going to get done. And for those of you watching, November 30th at the Greater New York Dental Meeting, if you're a mayor, if you're a dentist, some part of the country, if you're a professional athlete and you know Robert Hunter, the Globetrotter, or you're an opinion leader, or United Nations, or from the Dominican Republic, or Haiti, or Cuba, or anywhere, you're welcome to come. And the dental profession has opened up that building for our communities. And that's the whole idea. It's a community effort. This is not going to be a one-person effort, a one-profession effort. And you know what? We're fighting for our kids. So I don't think there's anything more to unite us than all our kids, to put all our differences aside and let's safeguard our kids. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Dr. Gomez.
Thank you again.
And thank all of you who have participated and have helped in this endeavor. And let's move forward And as Dr. Gomez says, let's do it. Good night.
Good night.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got. But the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet